As we move through summer, you're moving forward, and you may want to position yourself to a winning area. Forget South Beach. Just take your talents right down the street and around. You'll see just where tonight on NEOtropolis. This is not business as usual. Welcome to NEOtropolis. We are not business as usual. Hi, I'm your host, Jim Evans. Most everyone has heard of a block watch, right? Well, tonight we'll twist that a little and focus on an organization that has a watch on 50 blocks of a Northeast Ohio city that they feel holds great value. And they have a strategic and exciting plan for significant enhancement of this area on various levels. We'll get you to that in just a few moments. But as we do right out of the block, we'll first take a look at regional business news from the NEOtropolis Good Business News Aggregator.
This is the Good Business News along the I-77 corridor for the week of July 4th. Monday's Cleveland Plain Dealer Metro section reports that in an effort to meet the unique health needs of inner-city families in Cleveland, the Amoth Family Pediatric Wellness Center, located at the Metro Health Medical Center in Cleveland, is now open for business. The center offers several free health programs on health and wellness, including hands-on cooking lessons and working out with a personal trainer. Wednesday's Cleveland Plain Dealer Business section reports that Willoughby-based K&D Group has purchased Euclid Meadows Apartments for $3.15 million. The property was sold through a court-appointed receiver. Wednesday's Akron Beacon Journal Business section and the Kent Record Courier Life and Health section report that Kent State University and the Cleveland Clinic have signed a memorandum of understanding to create a partnership designed to create educational programs intended to attract minority students into the medical or research careers. Also, Wednesday's Akron Beacon Journal Business section reports that Canton-based The Timken Company has completed its $200 million purchase of Pennsylvania-based Philadelphia Gear Corporation. The company makes and services large gears and related products used in industry and military and commercial marine applications. For the 12-month period ending in March, the company had $85 million in sales and about 220 employees. Timken plans to globally expand the business. Thursday's Cleveland Plain Dealer Business section reports that two Northeast Ohio businessmen have teamed up to form a new company called 54 Chevy LLC. The first order of business was to buy General Motors' former transmission plant in Parma. The partners plan to turn the 527,000 square foot plant and about 60 acres of land into an industrial park. Thursday's Akron Beacon Journal Business section reports that Summit County-based credit unions, Towpath Credit Union and Telecommunity Credit Union, have merged. Combined, the credit unions have 21,000 members. They're keeping the name Towpath Credit Union, and officials indicate that current customers will not see much of a difference beyond that. Thursday's Kent Record Courier reports that pending the results of an application for grant funding for environmental cleanup, the Kent City Council has authorized the city to purchase a former industrial site on Mogador Road. The 17.7-acre site will be purchased for $1. This is the Good Business News along the I-77 corridor for this week. NEOtropolis is your source for good business news.
How does this sound? Engaging the community and catalyzing real estate and business investment. I like that. I didn't come up with that. But it's a good thing someone else did. And this is actually the mission of a movement to elevate the city of Akron to new heights. More on that is just ahead. But for now, we invest some very valuable time with our content partner, the Business Journal. It's time for the Weekly Buzz.
I'm Stacia Ertis with the Business Journal Weekly Buzz for Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley. Mayor Jay Williams is leaving Youngstown to take the position dubbed Auto Czar in the Obama administration. The official announcement was made in Flint, Michigan, where Williams was at an event with U.S. Labor Secretary Hilda Solis.
10, 15 years ago, this was a city defined by its problems. Now, this city still has problems, but it's a city defined more by our approach to those problems than the problems themselves. And I think that's a powerful statement.
Williams' official title will be Executive Director of the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Recovery for Auto Communities and Workers. He'll resign as mayor at the end of the month to assume the position August 8th. He says he'll use the Youngstown 2010 plan as a national model for the economic recovery for other communities. City Council President Chuck Samarone will fill the mayor's unexpired term and serve through 2013. Congressman Tim Ryan introduces a bill to provide funding for schools implementing robotics programs. Local students demonstrated their robotics projects at the Oh Wow Center for Science and Technology in downtown Youngstown.
I want it to be a modern-day shop class that, used to be in all the schools across the country, and I think it gives us a competitive advantage, teaching kids how to creatively solve problems, how to build things if we want to resuscitate manufacturing again.
A big award for V&M Star's $650 million new pipe mill. It's named the top retention and expansion project at the Team NEO Economic Development Plus Awards program. Honors went to the Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber, the cities of Youngstown and Girard, and Congressman Tim Ryan's office for their involvement in the project. In the healthcare section of the July edition of the Business Journal, George Nelson reports on how Valley Care pursues hospital upgrades. Here's Jeremy Leidick.
It's taking time and money for Valley Care Health System to take the place of the former Forum Health System. But as its president and CEO, David Fixie, tells our George Nelson, the Mahoning Valley has been receptive to the change and to the new name.
People feel it fits this community. The name makes sense to them. Whereas the old name never did, and so we've had universally kind of acceptance of that name.
When Valley Care introduced itself last year, the health system pledged to spend some $80 million on upgrades to the hospitals and clinics it now operates in the valley. In addition to physical upgrades, such as a new roof for one of the buildings at Northside, Valley Care is investing in new equipment inside, including a pair of new high-strength MRI magnets for its Austintown and Elm Road centers. Read more about Valley Care's master plan in the healthcare section of the July edition of the Business Journal, out now. For the Daily Buzz, I'm Jeremy Leidick.
And those are this week's headlines. Be sure to check out the Buzz Newscast every business day online at businessjournaldaily.com. I'm Stacia Urtis. We'll see you next week.
And now it's time for a NEOtropolis fact.
Did you know that Northeast Ohio is home to 26 universities, 10 private prep schools, and 23 technical trade schools?
So maybe you're looking to start a business or relocate or go to school in an area that offers an eclectic and exciting life of health, education, sustainability, and diverse culture. Let's include opportunity as well. You know, such an area exists in and around the University of Akron, and it's growing thanks to the work of the University Park Alliance. This collaborative has a unique vision for successful connectivity between the school, business, and community. Sarah Taylor had the opportunity to find out more about it and shows us how they're moving forward.
The importance of the canal in Akron's developmental history is well known. It's been a long time since it was used for its original purpose, but the canal is a unique feature of downtown Akron that could help revitalize the area for the 21st century. That's the goal of a master plan developed by the University Park Alliance, which is working in not business as usual ways to breathe new life into a 50-block area of the central city.
Let's take the 50 blocks. 8 of the 10 largest employers in Summit County are either in or in close proximity. You know, here are the anchors, new schools. It's almost a no-brainer.
Eric Anthony Johnson calls himself an urban entrepreneur. 11 months into his role as executive director of the University Park Alliance, he's honing his message.
People need to know about Akron, and the video really sets it up so people can say, wow, that's a place I think I want to invest.
The 4-minute video Johnson refers to now plays front and center on a redesigned University Park Alliance website. It follows the unveiling this spring of a new master plan or core city vision for University Park.
Akron Tomorrow needed and had discussions around creating a core city plan. Bill Considine over at Children's really led that conversation. So I come on board. Then there's also a need and a desire for a master plan for the 50 blocks. But recognizing that all of this stuff is one big piece, we decided to create a plan that would be in tandem with all of the partners. So the plan reflects the notion that all of our anchor institutions continue doing what they do. It was not about altering their plans. It was about creating one vision, breaking down the components of it into about 4 distinct areas that we can move as one community.
Those 4 areas are defined as University Square, encompassing the University of Akron; Crossroads, the area around City Hospital; Main Street, downtown's focal point; and south of Exchange, which includes Akron Children's and Akron General Hospitals. The Alliance selected Perkins Eastman's EE&K to develop the master plan, led by Principal Stan Eckstut, a renowned urban visionary.
Stan is arguably one of the best in the world at what he does. Some of his projects include Battery Park, New York City, which is arguably New York's most successful project in its history. Baltimore's Inner Harbor. So we put out an RFQ, request for qualifications. Stan's group responded, and the board ultimately selected the firm.
Eckstut spent plenty of time in Akron during the 6 months the plan was being developed, but his ideas formed rather quickly.
He looked at it, and inside of a week, he was basically like, wow, this is a great scenario. So I would say inside of a week, week and a half, he already knew sort of the identification of the four areas.
It was easy, I guess, to see immediately because we weren't looking for some abstract ideas. We weren't trying to bring prototypes from other places. We were really almost like anthropologists who were so eager to learn about Akron. And there was a lot there to learn and a lot of people who had a lot to say.
A key attribute for the area, according to Johnson, and affirmed by Eckstut, is the leaders who head up the key businesses and organizations.
And it's not a problem to get these guys together. You cannot find that in community.
Well, this is the only city I know where all the institutions get together and have an organization. So right away, that distinguishes it. The fact that it's gone this far and people have agreed that we need to share and we need to have an organization that can bring us together is the biggest step forward.
And Eckstut has worked with a lot of cities. Besides New York and Baltimore, he's done projects in San Antonio and Washington, D.C. He brings more than just his expertise to Akron. Johnson says his reputation lends the project a credibility that will help advance the plan.
What that says to the rest of the world is Akron is serious about what we're trying to do. Because what comes along with that is investor relationships, development, developer opportunities, because the recognition that we are taking this serious is really raised to a higher level.
Eckstut is excited by the potential of the city's assets and the ideas in the master plan that can capitalize on them.
There's no other city or downtown that I know of that is the front door to a national park. I've not seen that before. Also, this is an extraordinary group of leaders. The mayor has lots of visions that are all ones that we would want to help support. The president of the university has a big growth vision and is accomplishing it, and we want to do everything we can to help him make even more of a beautiful campus of what he has and keep growing it.
He sees the canal as a huge asset that needs to be mined to its full potential. Among the ideas shown in the plan are loft living areas along the canal south of Children's Hospital.
We have these great anchors around us, but we don't have a lot of the employees of those institutions living in close proximity.
Creating appealing places to live for those workers is a top priority. The Alliance is taking the lead on developing housing units that are attractive and affordable.
So if we can get a price point of $125, $130, then offer something like a home buyer's assistance to knock it down even further, targeted to the anchor employees, that's a great scenario.
The plan includes the possibility of a downtown arena, and the popular Lock 3 Park would become Lock 3 Square, along the lines of a Rockefeller Center in New York.
Rockefeller Center is like 1/3 the size of Lock 3 Park. And yet it is the center of New York, maybe one of the most important centers of the world at Christmas time. So we think the amount of space is not as important as the quality of the space and the programming and the materials and the lighting. And what's missing around Lock 3 Park is there aren't the cafes and restaurants and activities that would help make it more popular, safer.
Another thing Eckstut says Akron is missing is something the city has become known for.
Akron is truly a polymer center of the world, a real major research focus. And I'm saying one thing that Akron's missing, which is Akron, is polymers, colors and plastics and things which are very affordable, they're easy to maintain, they're all recyclable materials, so they're very green. And here you are, you're supposed to be the center of it all. So it isn't just Akron from the past or just, we love everything that's there and it should not change. We also see an evolution, but something that could be uniquely Akron.
The goals are lofty, but all within reach, according to Johnson.
First of all, when you look at the plan, these are 4 distinct real estate markets, which are pretty impressive. So you break it down into manageable components that all would have projects coming out of the 4 areas, which technically, if we do this right, we could have multiple projects all going at one time. So what I mean by doing it right, I mean putting all the pieces in place that will allow for development to happen in a sort of more rapid environment.
Those pieces include creating design guidelines and addressing any necessary zoning changes, all important elements to attract investment dollars.
If resources are limited, resources are going to come to places that are prepared. Because remember, federal government's going to be in retrenchment for a while. State has got issues, which trickles down to the county, which trickles down to the city. If you don't have a great plan, a strategy in place, you might as well say, we're going to die as a community. We're saying the opposite, led by the great partners, university, SUMA, Akron General, Children's, Housing Authority, School System, the Beacon Journal, all of these pieces, led by Knight's support. We've got the pieces.
You're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
Johnson expects the first projects to involve housing and mixed-use developments in the Crossroads and University Square areas. And he says time is of the essence.
It's imperative, and I'll say it this way, that we have something coming out of the ground within the next 15 to 18 months. And that has to happen, so it does a couple of things. It says to the community that this is just not some pie-in-the-sky vision, that the vision is real, and that second, we need that to keep the momentum going, to really say to people that, hey, Akron is a community, it's got a great history, it's not listed as what they call legacy cities. Legacy cities are really declining Rust Belt cities. Akron is not in that list, which says that Akron is making its strides, its changes.
While there's always an emphasis on regional cooperation, Johnson, who previously worked for the Port Authority in Cleveland, says Akron has to set itself apart so it can shine like the jewel that it is.
First of all, we have no choice because global economy has changed everything. The economy is going to continue to be an issue. It doesn't matter who's in office, it's going to be an issue. So we don't have a choice. Secondly, I think the plan lays out specific areas that are not in conflict with each other. That's the beauty of it. So the university world is the university world. Market Main Street is a regional destination for everybody. Crossroads is heavily research, medical, mixed use. Totally different, right? Akron General, Children's work that they're doing is totally different. So there is no competition amongst the areas. That's why it's really doable.
With housing a key component of this master plan, Johnson says they'll work to stabilize and rehabilitate older neighborhoods like this one around the old Mason School. In addition, the first project they're planning is a 100% LEED certified or energy efficient neighborhood. That will likely be located around the University of Akron, and they hope to break ground by next spring. In Akron, I'm Sarah Taylor for Western Reserve PBS.
Quite a positive future for University Park. And with that, it's time now for Into the Future.
Into the future.
Okay, so you're having lunch with friends, family, or business associates, and one thing leads to another, and someone mentions their idea for a new product. Maybe a special type of iPhone holder, or a new board game, or parts to make a robot, or maybe a lipstick dispenser. Everybody has ideas. In the olden days, that would be, say, 2010. You chat about your ideas for a while, and then someone would mention the staggering manufacturing costs, and the conversation would quickly move to the dessert menu. Well, times have changed. You don't need to look to the stars and ponder what could have been. No, instead you should check out MakerGear.com, the company I founded way back in 2009, and learn about 3D printing and how you can transform your ideas into real, tangible, and physical objects. 3D printing. Let me explain what it is. You know how desktop publishing works? You can use software like Photoshop or Illustrator and create two-dimensional designs that can be printed by your laser printer. Desktop manufacturing is similar, but instead of Photoshop, you use software to create 3D models, and instead of a laser printer, you have a 3D printer. A 3D printer takes plastic feedstock and melts it and deposits it layer by layer to build up the object that you want to create. You can build many kinds of things this way. Our customers use their printers to make robots, bead sorters, game pieces and figurines, abstract art pieces, puzzles, hard-to-find replacement parts, architectural models, dental models. Our products are used at places like the University of Pennsylvania, MIT, University of Texas, Virginia Tech, and at companies like Disney. Our customers are students, engineers, artists, geeks, nerds, hackers, kids, and generally intelligent and savvy people. We shipped kits and supplies to something like 49 states and every continent. Well, Antarctica doesn't count. I mean, not counting Antarctica. As I'm recording this, we have printers headed to Australia, Taiwan, Korea, and many of the parts in these kits are manufactured right here in Northeast Ohio. Much of this U.S. supply of plastic in these printers is manufactured not far from Akron. Maker Gear is known throughout the world as a trusted provider of quality 3D printers and supplies. So put down that dessert menu and start transforming those wacky ideas into legitimate opportunities. Learn more at MakerGear, MakerGear.com. I'm Rick Pollack. Thank you.
You know we like to give you the rundown on the financial field, and the experts at NCA Financial Planners give us a look at that now with a stock wrap.
This week's local company spotlight is OM Group, which is headquartered at the Key Tower in downtown Cleveland. The OM Group is the world's leading producer of cobalt-based chemicals and a leading supplier of nickel-based chemicals. The company serves a wide variety of sectors, including rechargeable batteries, electronic devices, cutting tools, industrial coatings, medical devices, and supplies products to the defense and aerospace industries. OM Group operates manufacturing facilities in North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, employs approximately 2,900 associates worldwide, supplies more than 4,000 customers, and serves over 50 industries worldwide. Their stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol OMG. In addition to innovative and quality products, the company creates and participates in various programs both internally and worldwide, making sustainability, social responsibility, and environment, health, and safety key components of how OMG does business. The midweek close was $39.26. Year-to-date, the stock is positive 1.95%, and over the last 5 years, the stock is positive 28.01%. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Carol. Again, University Park fits right into our file on culture and entertainment in Northeast Ohio, right? And you know, the man who has the right vision on that is none other than Cool Cleveland's Thomas Mulready. He is now ready to join us to tell you about some other events that are going on in NEOtropolis this weekend. What we're talking about is the business of fun.
Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com, and we're here today at Oberlin College in Lorain County, and we're talking this week about university bookstores. We have a tremendous number of great universities in this region, and don't forget, each of them usually has a really cool bookstore that you might overlook, and they don't have things just like you might expect, such as college texts or the classics or those cheap paperbacks that all the college students need, but also things like sports gear and merchandise, apparel, all your tailgating supplies, for example, gifts for both parents and for students, backpacks and messenger bags, and don't forget the technology items like software and hardware, computer equipment, MP3 players. So we're here today at the Oberlin Bookstore. This is at 37 West College Street. Also, the University of Akron Bookstore is at 303 East Carroll. Youngstown State University Bookstore is it's near the Recreation Center. It's in Kilcawley Center. It's 123 Spring Street. The Cleveland State University Bookstore is in the new Student Center, brand new, beautiful building, 2121 Euclid Avenue. And Kent State University Bookstore is at 124 Student Center. And remember, all these universities also have branch and satellite locations. So check out your university bookstore in the region. This is Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. Have a great week in NEOtropolis.
As we leave you, remember, there are things that you can do to help the Northeast Ohio economy. One way is to get out to any of the events Thomas told us about and make your investment in fun. You can also assemble your brilliant comments about the Northeast Ohio economy, and we know you have them, and share them with the people in your collaborative. Tell them to spread the word. Also, remember to log on to our website, neotropolis.org, and tell us what you think. I'm Jim Evans. We'll see you next week on NEOtropolis, not business as usual.
Funding for NEOtropolis has been provided by the Burton D. Morgan Foundation, committed to the free enterprise system.
First Place Bank is proud to sponsor NEOtropolis. As a community bank, First Place Bank believes we are only as strong as the communities we serve. Locally owned businesses are the cornerstone of our communities. We concentrate on helping local businesses make the most of their resources through a variety of services delivered with a community banking touch.
The Dominion Foundation. JumpStart, working with entrepreneurs to accelerate the growth of their high-potential businesses to create a more prosperous economic future for Northeast Ohio. Youngstown Business Incubator. And NorTech.